Remember this, none of this good news would have happened if anyone listened to our government. None of it. Anthony Albanese and Penny Wong have spent the past 20 months since the October the 7th atrocities calling for ceasefires and dialogues. I understand the Prime Minister hasn't even taken the time to watch video evidence of what happened on October the 7th. His office won't answer our questions on this, but if he hasn't, how heartless, how ignorant, and how derelict in his duty to not bear witness to the reality at the heart of all this. I mean, he claims to run a country and have a view. It's just astonishing. Anyway, if Albanese and Wong had their way, Hamas would still run Gaza with Yahya Sinwar still in charge. Hezbollah would still be firing 10,000 rockets at Israel. Iran would be chipping in too, and it would still be proceeding with its nuclear weapons program. All the crazies would still be playing their deadly games because at every stage, Albanese and Wong have been telling Israel and the US to put their weapons down and stop fighting these monsters. All they've ever said is cease fire, no matter what the enemies of Israel and freedom do. Yet today, incredibly, when it comes to what's unfolded in Iran, Albanese had this to say.
We have made it very clear in multiple press conferences for some time now, including last week on the sideline of the G7, that Iran could not be allowed to get a nuclear weapon. And both myself and the Foreign Minister were very clear about that.
That is just not true. That's one of the things we've been wanting him to say. Albanese and Wong have always pussyfooted around that issue, talking about their concerns and the like. Even with US military action being openly canvassed, this is as strong as Albo would put it last week.
Australia, of course, I've expressed before our concern about Iran gaining the capacity of nuclear weapons as something that is a threat to security in the region. But we, along with other like-minded countries, do want to see that priority on dialogue and diplomacy.
That's no demand to stop them getting nuclear weapons. That's concerns and references again to dialogue and diplomacy. No stern words for Iran. No calls for Iran to abandon nuclear weapons, which is what he now pretends he said. All he had was weasel words, as ever. So spineless, so unwilling to support Israel or the US. And even after the US acted, Albanese took more than 24 hours, as you know, to offer his mealy-mouthed support.
Look, Kieran, there are some in the media who have a criticism of anything that the Labor government does. What my government does is act in an orderly, coherent way, and we were very clear for some period of time that Iran could not be allowed to have a nuclear weapon. We called for Iran to come to the table to ensure that the United States wouldn't have to take the action which they did. The action that they took, we made clear that we supported action that would ensure that Iran couldn't gain that nuclear weapon.
Just hopeless and hopeless pretense about what he's actually said. No wonder Trump has no time for him. No wonder our alliance relationship is in the worst situation for 50 years. Albanese says there's no need for him to go to the NATO summit in Europe this week to try again to meet the US president.
I've been to the United States on 5 separate occasions, Kieran, as Prime Minister, and I do note that the same people who constantly say I should do more international travel every time I do are critical of it as well.
Well, I've never been too critical of Albo's travel. PMs need to travel. But I'm glad Albo's not going to NATO because he's got absolutely nothing useful to say. What's the point of Albanese meeting with any national leaders? Because even when he turns up, he's the Prime Minister who wasn't there.